Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom, and today I'm talking to you about a new suite called Always in My Heart. Now, I haven't got the whole suite, we don't, we have to buy whatever we use, and I haven't got all of that, and it's probably not one that I would perhaps have chosen to buy. However, I did get this stamp set for free as part of my prize patrol at a recent Stampin' Up! Event, and it's part of this suite here, which is called Love You Always, and it is absolutely beautiful. There's two stamp sets, so it's a mega suite. There are dies that coordinate. There are some beautiful papers, yeah, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, there's a bit of a funny story. You can see here there's some lovely patterned papers here, Specialty Designer Series paper. I thought I'd ordered that. I hadn't. I'd actually ordered the foil sheets. So the foil sheets that come with this are though beautiful. You get 2 sheets of each in Sahara Sand, in Rococo Rose, beautiful pink, actually isn't as bright as it looks kind of in with the lights there, and in Blushing Bride. So you get 2 sheets of each in a pack. So actually, although it wasn't what I thought I'd ordered, wrote the wrong number down, it is lovely. And this stamp set is designed as kind of Valentine's anniversary, kind of love themed, but it's got some beautiful 2-step stamps. You can see here a big one, You Had Me at Hello, and some sentiments. And you know me, I like one that comes with sentiments as well, and I will find this useful, with the fact that it's got a happy anniversary. Great. Lovely friendship one, best kind of friend is the kind like you. Another year of happily ever after, so again another anniversary. Be my Valentine if you send Valentine's cards, and you're always in my heart. So actually very useful, pretty scripty font. So this is the card. So this is actually fussy cutting. Now, I don't always do lots of fussy cutting, but actually on this one I think it works really well. And I've just used the foil sheet there behind that. That's the Sahara Sand one, and then with some fussy cutting on the flowers to make a really sort of pretty layered card. So let's get started. Okay, so to start off with, you are going to need, you'll want your stamping pierce mat. You're going to want half a sheet of basic white, thick. You're going to want a 1/4 sheet of basic white, ordinary, and then you're going to want a 1/4 sheet of whatever contrast panel you'd like. And then I'm going to use some of the Rococo Rose. So I've got Rococo Rose there, so I thought I'd use a Rococo Rose panel. And then you're going to want some scraps of Whisper White for some fussy cutting. Okay then, so we'll create our card base. So card bases, width of your A4. So for me, I've got a nice smudge on that one. I think we might have to have that at the back. So 14.5 centimetres wide, and then score down the middle at 10.5 centimetres. So that would be 8 1/4 scored in by 5 3/4, scored in half at 4 1/8 to create our card base. Our layer of Rococo Rose is 14 by 10, so that's just giving us a cuts of 2.5 millimetres all the way around, and then the layer of Whisper White is 0.5 centimetre smaller again, so that is 13.5 by 9.5 centimetres. Now you can gut the middle of your Rococo Rose if you want to save wastage. So that's where I line it up at 2 centimetres on the right hand side and cut from 2 centimetres down to 2 centimetres up. It don't have to be incredibly precise, because as long as you don't sort of come right to the edge, you'll be fine. Obviously, if we were punching out of that, then you could just punch your shape out of it, but that then gives us a spare piece for any sentiments that we might want to add. So that's nicely gutted. So we pop our trimmer away and crack on with our stamping. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to do my stamping of my Whisper White. So, okay, right, so leaves, I've got the sort of larger leaf spray, which I did first, and I used my soft seafoam ink for that. I'm going to be doing some stamping off, because my grid paper actually is reasonably clean on this side. I'm just going to grab a bit of scrap grid paper to do that with. And I'm going to go around first of all and stamp my leaves. Now what I've sort of done on the original card, you can see I've kind of started in the corner here and just done a spray all the way along. So I'm just sort of coming down and I'm kind of leaving enough gaps to put our second sort of leaf spray in between as we go along, and sort of bring it round here so that it's going to curve around our circles. I possibly haven't come far enough here, so I might just want to put an extra couple of sprigs in. Oh, and you're also going to want some punches. So I've used our 2" and our 2 1/4" punch for this. And say all I've done, just literally just coming down in a kind of spray effect. And then for the infill, great 2-step stamps, match up really well. And I'm just stamping off. You could stamp straight on, just gives a darker effect, but I like the leaves to the veins on this one to show through a little bit more. I'm finding that the stamping off works well. Obviously the other thing you could do is you could stamp in a darker ink, so you could use sort of I'm about to use Pear Pizzazz, so you could use that for the veins, and then you infill with soft sea foam. I kind of do tend to do my foliage in 2 shades of the same. I just feel that for me it looks better. And you can see I'm just coming down with that, and I'm just hovering over until I've kind of got it lined up. And the beauty of the photopolymer obviously is that you can see through by stamping that darker colour first. So the outline. Okay, so those are my first set of leaves. I'll pop that ink away. Now my next ones, I'm going to use my, just swapping these stamps onto my smaller blocks. See, the small block means that you're less likely to get kind of ink seepage, you know, by catching the block around the outer edge. Doesn't completely eliminate it. You can see they've got a bit of pink around the outside. Just wipe that off on your chamois. I'm just going to put that into the middle of my block as well. So now I'm going to use my Pear Pizzazz and come in. As I said, I'm just going to pop those in between. All the way along here. Obviously you could do a bit of a one-sheet wonder with these if you wanted to. You know, lots of repeat stamping. I'm sure that would look lovely. And then the same again in terms of just filling those in with the infill stamp. Now the thing with this card is it's great for mindfulness because there's some fussy cutting. Sometimes I fussy cut, sometimes I don't. Now obviously if you get the dies to go with this, it will make life quite a bit easier for you. But it's really great, you know, if you're sat down with, you know, on your own or with family in the evening, they're watching something that you're perhaps not quite so keen on. It's a great time to catch up on a bit of fussy cutting. Last one over here, just on the edge there. Okay, so there we've got our kind of background foliage spray. Pop those out to one side, and I'm just going to swap over to my flowers that I'm going to be using, she says. So we've got our other 2 flowers. So this is this sort of one here. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually do some punching. So I'm going to grab my Rococo Rose. It's foil, so obviously what we want to do is be as frugal as possible. So I tuck it right in the corner just so that it catches, and then punch my circle. Then with my 2" punch, just come in and punch yourself a circle of Whisper White, a sort of basic white. It's going to take me a little while to get used to the new names of those, but hey, you know. Again, we're still going to want to do a bit of stamping off. So I'm using, for my deepest of pointed flowers, remind me a little bit of water lilies. I'm going to use my Rococo Rose, and I'm going to use my Blushing Bride for other ones. So, things that we need. What you're going to do is each of these flowers, I haven't cut all the way out because obviously the bottom of that isn't going to be visible, so I've just cut the top edges. So I'll just show you how to do that before I create it. And then the outline of this one is in Blushing Bride. So if I pop that to one side, grab my ink pad out of that way. So all I'm doing is with my Blushing Bride, I'm popping 3 flowers on the outside edge, like so. Probably not as, I'm going to redo those. There we go. That's better placed. I've stood up, you see, does help. And just think about it as a bit of a triangle within those, sort of easily spaced. And then I'm just going to stamp with the infill. So again, so this is a way of kind of getting quite a full wreath effect without having to cut lots of flowers out. So again, just stamping off and stamping over the top. Then I'm going to stamp and fussy cut 3 of those flowers out. Fussy cutting, you know, I don't want to teach my grandmother to suck eggs, but I'm just coming in and just literally running my scissors around pretty much on that darker edge where the outline of the image, like so. And again, just, you know, let my scissors do the work, just rotating that around. So you're going to want to make quite a few of those. In fact, I'm not desperately happy with that one, so let's do another quick one. So again, the reason is it picked up a touch of the blue where I've got that. There we go, that's better. There we go. So we're going to cut out, say, just 3 of these. And as I say, if you've got the dies to go with it, fantastic. Use your mini cut and emboss machine. Perfect for these little projects. You know, and great for crafting if you've got some limited space. Or if you go, hopefully, when we were able to go off on crops a little bit more. So, 3 of those flowers. Then with the other ones, what I'm actually doing is same effect. So pop my Blushing Bride away so I don't get confused, because that is easily done. And all I did was I just repeat stamped those on a strip, and then come in and again stamping off and stamping in with those. And then I've sort of cut those out, you can see, but not quite come to the bottom, and I'll show you why I've done that in a moment. While I've got my deeper Rococo Rose ink out, I'm going to come in with my sentiment, and I haven't got a big block handy at the time, so I've used one of my kit blocks. So these are one of the ones that come with our lovely kits. So all you need to do is just come in and just add your sentiment wherever you fancy, like so. So we've got our layer, that's our layer to go on the top. Now we need to shape these flowers. So pop your flowers face down, and then I've got a ball tool here, but you can use, and I've shown you before, you could use the edge of your opposite end of your scissors. All you're doing is stretching those fibres. You could also use, rather than the narrow ball tool on the end of your tape you picked, actually the reverse, and you just see that shapes it slightly. So you can then come in with our mini dimensionals and just pop those behind, one in the centre of each. And then just intersperse those. This is what I said about creating kind of a false wreath. By having those 3 stamped behind, you've just avoided yourself die cutting or fussy cutting. So we've got a pretty wreath in the middle there. Pop that on with some adhesive. And pop it onto the... Ooh, don't do what I've just done, which is put it in the wrong place. Centrally pop it on there, and then again another couple of dimensionals on the back there. I tend to use the larger ones, and if kind of, I'm going to say one in each corner of the circle. Yeah, great. Don't need to put them in the corner. So one is in a triangle stuff to support it. Oh, fiddle! And I haven't added my other flowers. Right. Okay, so once you've created these, before you do what I've just done, all I'm going to do is just snip these off like so and add those to the back. So again, I'm going to kind of pop one on the top. I'm just going to peel off that dimensional, which fortunately I hadn't stuck down too much. And what I did with these was, again, I kind of, here I show you, kind of, right, added some glue to the front of each and then sort of did them in opposites. So just that that flower head just sits behind the edge. And as I say, I've done 6, so you kind of want sort of them interspersed a little bit. Or you can do 8, so obviously you could sort of put them like so. So if you were to do that, I say it's just creating a little tab that you can use on behind there. So I've come sort of down to the bottom really. It just saves you that bit of fussy cutting. One over here. And the last couple I need to cut out and we're done. So again, another one there. And then these last couple to create our layer. I'm probably going to run out of time, so it could be a funny end to the video. There we go, one more, and nearly down to the last one. So pop your dimensionals on the back of that. I'll pop my last little one on at the end. So here we go. Layer up our card. Let's do a very quick assembly. So, too much wittering, not enough crafting. So there we have the last layer onto there. Layer that onto our card. And again, you'll see that I'm adding these on before I put my final layer on, obviously because you don't want to try and put glue on the back of something that has got dimension. And then just because I can't find my big dimensionals, I'm going to leave a space for that last one. And there we have nearly, I say it looks a bit messy on the back, but who would know, because all you need to do is pop that on the top there, and there we have our pair of Love You Always cards. Rococo Rose, Sahara Sand, really pretty foil sheets. And so if you order them deliberately, which I recommend now, you're going to get 2 really pretty cards. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me soon. Links to all the products are on my description bar below or on my blog. Thanks for watching. Bye now.